Luka Doncic. From the very first second the ball tipped, fans knew they were about to witness something special. But this wasn't just another game, this was EuroBasket, where national pride, history, and glory all collide on the court. And tonight, Slovenia, led by Doncic himself, squared off against Iceland in what became a must-watch showdown that had everything: drama, energy, dominance, and the kind of moments that make you leap off your seat. In the next few minutes, we're breaking it all down, from Doncic's jaw-dropping highlights to Slovenia's strategy, to Iceland's resilience, and what this all means for the tournament moving forward. Stay with us, because this one had fireworks from start to finish. Luka Doncic, already one of the NBA's biggest names and a global superstar, entered this game with massive expectations. Every time he wears that Slovenia jersey, he carries not only the hopes of his team but the weight of an entire nation. Against Iceland, the matchup seemed tilted heavily in Slovenia's favor, but games like these can often reveal more about preparation, discipline, and chemistry than they do about raw talent. Right from the opening possessions, Doncic was in full control. His playmaking set the tone early, threading passes through defenders, finding open shooters in the corner, and scoring at will whenever the defense dared to give him space. Iceland came out with energy, but the sheer difference in talent was obvious from the start. Still, credit has to go to Iceland for fighting, for refusing to let the game become just another highlight reel for Doncic. They hustled, played physically, and tried everything they could to slow down Slovenia's momentum. One of the most impressive aspects of Slovenia's performance was how balanced they looked with Doncic at the helm. This wasn't just a one-man show, it was an orchestra, and Luka was the conductor. Every movement he made influenced the rhythm of the game. When Slovenia needed points, he got them. When they needed spacing, he created it. When the tempo needed to change, he slowed it down or pushed the pace at will. Iceland tried multiple defensive looks, sometimes trapping him off the pick and roll, other times throwing length at him to contest the shots. But Doncic's IQ was simply on another level. He read every play before it developed and picked apart Iceland's defense like a seasoned surgeon. Of course, the highlight plays were there, and they were jaw-dropping. Step-back threes with that smooth release that makes defenders feel hopeless. Drives into the paint where he absorbed contact and still finished. No-look passes that had fans gasping and defenders shaking their heads. At one point, it seemed like Doncic was toying with the defense, making the impossible look routine. This is why fans come to watch him, because he delivers those "how did he do that?" moments over and over again. But what really made this game stand out was Slovenia's cohesion as a team. Players like Klemen Prepelic, Mike Toby, and Vlatko Kankar fed off Doncic's energy. Prepelic knocked down big shots whenever Slovenia needed a momentum boost. Toby was a force inside, cleaning up rebounds and finishing around the rim. Kankar added versatility, playing tough defense and stretching the floor with timely threes. Together, they showed that Slovenia is more than just Doncic, though it's undeniable that he's the engine that makes everything possible. On the other side, Iceland deserves credit for refusing to back down. They knew they were facing a powerhouse with one of the world's best players, yet they continued to battle possession after possession. They hustled for loose balls, they played physically, and they never quit. That kind of spirit deserves respect, even if the final score wasn't in their favor. For them, playing against a team like Slovenia and a player like Doncic is an invaluable experience. It's the kind of game that tests your limits and shows you where you need to improve to compete at the highest level in Europe. As the game wore on, it became less about who would win and more about how Slovenia would refine their identity heading deeper into EuroBasket. Every minute Doncic spends on the court with this group is a step toward building chemistry, toward understanding the subtle movements and tendencies that will matter when the competition gets tougher. This wasn't just about beating Iceland, it was about sharpening their weapons for the battles ahead against bigger, stronger, more experienced teams. The fans, of course, were treated to a show. The arena erupted every time Doncic touched the ball. Every made three brought the crowd to their feet. Every assist had them buzzing. There's a unique magic when Doncic plays. It feels less like a game and more like an event, something you'll talk about long after the final buzzer. For Slovenia, these moments are about more than just basketball. They're about pride, about proving that a small nation can produce greatness, about inspiring the next generation of players who watch Doncic and dream of wearing that jersey themselves one day. As the final minutes ticked away, Slovenia had comfortably secured the win. Doncic checked out of the game to thunderous applause, a reminder that his presence alone elevates not only his team but the entire tournament. The final score told one story, but the bigger narrative was about what Slovenia can become with Doncic leading the way, a legitimate threat to anyone, anywhere, at any time. This game was a statement, not just to Iceland, but to the rest of Europe. Slovenia is here, and with Luka Doncic, they're a team you can never take lightly. The mix of his individual brilliance and the team's growing chemistry makes them one of the most dangerous squads in EuroBasket. The message was clear: underestimate them at your own risk. So what's next? For Slovenia, it's about building on this momentum. For Doncic, it's about continuing to elevate his game and his teammates as the tournament moves forward. And for fans, it's about strapping in, because if tonight was any indication, we're in for a spectacular EuroBasket run filled with highlights, drama, and unforgettable performances. And here's the bottom line: Luka Doncic is special. Every time he steps on the court, whether it's the NBA or EuroBasket, he reminds us why he's one of the brightest stars in the game today. Against Iceland, he once again delivered a performance that had everything: scoring, playmaking, leadership, and flair. Slovenia walked away with the win, but the bigger victory was the reminder that basketball, at its best, is pure entertainment, and Doncic is the perfect showman. If you enjoyed watching this game and want to keep up with every big highlight, every key performance, and every twist and turn of EuroBasket, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment. Slovenia's journey has just begun, and with Doncic leading the way, you know it's going to be a ride worth following. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come.